Welcome to the Adehill podcast. I want to start off by saying that I want my name to remind you to go and live your life big, to take risks, to go all in and write one hell of a story with the one life you know that you have. I'm a 7-figure business mentor, wife, and mother of 3, and I'm here to share my journey with you as I am constantly moving in the direction of more bigness, more impact, more wealth, more depth, and more life. My aim with this podcast is to activate and inspire you to go and live your life big in the fullest, most passionate way. I'm so glad that you are here, so let's dive right in. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Adehill podcast. I feel like we are moving through these episodes at a rapid pace and I'm so here for it. I want to dive straight into today's episode, and the conversation I want to have with you today is looking at ways in which you are navigating your business and also your life. We tend to get so caught up in fixing all of the things that are broken or fixing the things that aren't working so well for us. And then we go, oh, that's a shadow, or I got to heal. I get so caught up and stuck in my own ways, and that's wrong with me, and I'm not like this, and I'm not like that, and I need to improve all of these things about myself, and yada, yada, yada. That is often how the story goes. What if I told you we can simply just let those parts of us be? If we can just let those things inside of our businesses that may not be going so well right now, can we just let them be for a moment and not get so caught up in deep diving into the problem and trying to work through the problem and trying to stay in the problem? People get so addicted in staying in the problem and continue to dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then they're hoping that they're going to find this wonderful answer. Maybe they do at the bottom of the shit pile. But sometimes that can be really fucking heavy to just keep going down the rabbit hole of finding out all of the things that are wrong with us, or spending all of this time inside of our businesses working on all of the things that are wrong, or the things that are not going well, or the things that don't feel aligned. I'm not saying that we should not focus on those things, because I think they are very important that we do focus on them. However, today I want to have a different conversation with you. What if we did a little stock take? Let's play a little game. What if we did a stock take right now on all of the things that are working really well inside of your business right now? Have a little think about it. And if you don't have a business, name all of the things that are working really well inside of your life right now. Like, what is like a total vibe right now? Maybe your health is really on point. Maybe you are like loving your friendships right now. If we are speaking from a business perspective, maybe it feels really effortless to deliver your service to your clients. Maybe it's like the creation of your products, or maybe it's the marketing. Maybe it's the communication with your audience. Whatever it is right now, what's working really well? Take a moment and think about the things that are working really well. Now, when you can think about those things, and if you can't think about anything like straight off the bat, think a little bit harder and then come up with something, because we're going to work with something that is working like really well for you right now. And if you can't think about it, yes, think about it harder, but also you have to master your ability to find the things and learn to look at the things that are working really well. I say to my clients every single time they come on a call with me, I'm like, what are you celebrating? What are you grateful for? I am training their muscle, their brains to start to look for the things that are working, to start to find gratitude in the things that are really good for them, to start to actually celebrate the things and the things that are going well in their lives and inside of their businesses every single day. I don't ignore the stuff that I need to work on in my life and in my business, but I make sure that I spend a lot of time and energy on the things that are working really well. And when I'm clear on the things that are working really well, and when I'm clear on the things that feel really aligned for me, I turn up the dial on those things and I make them even better. So I look at the things that are really good and I'm like, how can I make this even better? How can I elevate this even more? How can I turn up the dial on this aspect of my business? So instead of looking at all of the things that we should be doing and looking at all of the things that we are not doing, or look at all of the things that are broken that we need to fix, how about we start in their end that is working really well? To like, oh, this feels really good. I love when I do that. That feels really fun. That feels really effortless. Maybe we can start with those things and we turn up the dial on that and make them even better. So what's going to happen right now, of the things that are already working really well, now we're going to have to plug in to like an elevated version of those things that are already working really well. That is number one. Because what tends to happen, we spend so much time going through all of the stuff that are working and going through all of the things that are wrong with us and going through all of the things that make us feel overwhelmed, to go through all of the things that we should be doing. Like that just makes me so tired to think about all of those things, to spend like 80% of my energy in that frequency of trying to fix and fix and fix and fix. Basically, what we are indirectly telling our brains is that there is something wrong with us and that there is something that is not good and something that needs fixing all of the time. And if we spend most of our time fixing things that are broken or fixing things about ourselves and trying to like tear us apart and looking at versions of ourselves that may not be quote unquote good enough, your brain is going to continue to look for the things that are not good enough, and they will continue to look for the things that are broken and continue to look for the things that needs fixing, which means you are going to struggle to see the light. You are going to struggle to see actually what's working really well. And the way in which I am moving right now, and the reason why I can move at a rapid pace, it's because first of all, I've mastered to do both, but 80% of my energy is to compound and continue to make the things that are already working even better. There are so many things that I'm not doing right now that I could be doing. And maybe I will do those down the track. Maybe I will do those at a later stage, but not right now. Because at the moment, my time and my energy, I'm going to pour that into the things that are working really well right now. And I'm just going to turn up the magnetism and turn up the volume and turn up the dial on all of those things that are already working really well. Because I know if they're already working really well and I turn up the dial on those things, they're going to become even better, which means I'm going to become even better, which means that the results that I'm getting will be even better. That is the compound, but we get so stuck in focusing on the things that are broken and bad, or the things that we aren't doing, and we just so focus on the problem. And the ripple effect from that, when we are constantly focusing on the problem, the ripple effect of that is that you will start to communicate with your audience to also, or the people that you are serving, to also look for the problem. And you will start to look at your relationship and you will look at the problem. And you will look at your friendship and you will look at the problem. And you will look at yourself and all you see is problems. And now you become this like pro problem solver, and you are low-key thriving in moments when shit hits the fan and there is like chaos and it's problems. It's like, oh, put me in the pressure cooker and I'm so good. Like I love to work under pressure. I love solving a problem. Guess why that is? Because your brain is familiar with solving problems. Your brain is familiar to be in the frequency of solving problems, or it's something wrong with me, or there is something needs fixing. So what you are indirectly telling your mind that it's actually not possible for things to be good. That things can just flow. When the good is good, the good gets better. It's like that does not even exist for you right now because you are so caught up in seeing the problems and problem solving. What happens if we can just like park that for a moment? Allow yourself just to park that for a moment and feel into all of the greatness in your life right now. To feel into all of the beautiful things that are unfolding for you right now. And this might be the smallest fucking thing you can think of. But this is how we rewire the brain to start to look for the good, to start to look for the solutions, to start to look for the pathway. And when you can master that, you will start to move at a rapid pace because you are not addicted at looking at the problem and looking at all of the things that are not working. So feel into like the freedom of that and the frequency of actually playing in that field, of leaning in that all I do is to look for the good. All I do right now is to actually looking at solutions and finding solutions and looking for the pathway, looking for the light. Feel into this right now. Are you looking at the darkness or are you looking at the light? How are you spending the majority of your time? In the darkness or the light? Are you spending 90% of your time complaining about your current circumstance and why you are not happy and why you are a certain way and why things are not moving in the pace that you hoped? Or are you spending 90% of your time looking at all of the things that are working, celebrating those around you, moving in the direction that aligns with your vision? Are you spending majority of your time looking for solutions, looking for opportunities, looking to build deeper connections, more connections? Where are you spending your time and energy? Because the thoughts that continue to circle in your mind over and over and over again, they're going to leave a certain feeling inside of your body. And that feeling will either put you into action or inaction, or it will put you in a total state of freeze to the point you are not going to move at all, or you are just going to look away. So this is why, and I'm no doubt you have heard this like 500 million times, but here is another thing. You can hear something over and over and over again, or you can hear something and you can let it land and you can let it drop in and you can do something about the information I'm sharing with you. It's not about what you hear and it's not about what you know. It's about what you do with what you know. Take responsibility, and this is a pattern of this podcast right now. Everything that we do is linked back to you. And if you are not happy with your current circumstance, the first step of getting out of your own way is to find the fucking light where you're at right now. It's to find gratitude and to look at the things that are already working. Look for the small things that are working right now. You don't find the light by digging through your pile of shit day in and day out. And I want to give you a great example of this. I have many days that don't go to plan. I have many days where I have a freaking migraine and it kills me. I lose the vision of my left eye and I just turn into like a full whatever. It's not fun. It's not fun for anyone when I have a migraine. They get really bad. It's not fun when my kids are sick and I'm not sleeping at night. It's no fun when I'm feeling stressed and overwhelmed. It's no fun. And you're going to be like, oh, so when did you last have a migraine, Rebecca? When were you last sick? I follow you online. I haven't heard anything about that. That's exactly right, because I don't share it. And the reason I don't share it, it's not because I only want you to see my highlight reel on Instagram. Like, I'm so overhearing that. Like, shush, go away. It's not about that. I call it gentle healing. That I decide what I want to give my energy and time to. I decide what I want to take up a lot of my thinking and my conversations and what I choose to share online. I'm very mindful of that. I'm like, I don't want to make it a big deal if I have a migraine. There is no benefit to my audience to find out if I have a migraine. Other than like me getting 3 messages to go, oh, don't work so hard, go and have a rest. What I'm doing right now, every single time I have a migraine, I literally go, wow, Rebecca, this is good. You have a migraine coming on, I can feel it. It's time for an upgrade. I treat my migraines like an upgrade. So every time I get a migraine, I put myself to bed. I have a nap in a dark room, I wake up, my migraine is hopefully gone by then. So I don't choose to spend time sitting in my own shit. I don't choose to spend my time online sharing about the things that I actually don't want to give a lot of my attention to. Can you see where I'm getting at here? That we get so caught up in like, I've had a bad day. My children are this. My husband is this. My this and that. I'm feeling like this. If that is the language and if that is how you want to spend your time and energy, that is where your life will end up. Maybe I'm sounding a bit dramatic right now, but I'm passionate about this because once I flipped my language, once I flipped my way of thinking, once I flipped the conversations I'm available for, my fucking life changed. And I want your life to change. I want you to feel like you are 100% responsible for your life right now. And for all of the results that you are getting inside of your business right now, you are responsible. And the first way to get out of the dumps, if you are finding yourself in the dumps, or if you are great and you're wanting even more importantly, we will have to make sure that the intention behind your conversations, around your mindset, around your thoughts, around how you spend your time, the conversations that you have, your environment and the people that you are with, it's going to depend on that. So adding in even more intention to the things that are working and make them even greater. When we are reaching new heights and when we are reaching new levels, things don't become more complex. We just become more self-aware. We just become more focused and more intentional with how we spend our time and who we spend our time with and the conversations we're available for and the things that we focus on, full stop. Everything that we do is linked back to us. So I want to invite you right now to look at your life and look at the things that are working for you right now. That you're like, I've got this, I'm happy with this. My relationships, start to pour more into that. This is how we start to operate from a state of overflow. When we can start to see all of the things that are working for us and do more of them. So then, when we have to go and deal with the things that aren't that fun to deal with, you're going to be less reactive when you deal with those things. You're going to have a clearer mind, a more abundant mind. That, like, it is so important. If you want to start making better progress, more progress, bigger steps, bigger moves, you need to start looking at all the things that you have in front of you right now that are working and fucking turning up the dial on those. Because when you do that, you have more energy to deal with the things that may not be so nice. Because life happens. We're all going to have shit days. We're all going to have good days. But you choose how much time and energy you give to that. And also, what you choose to have as a problem. I'm actually going to wrap up this episode to actually speak on this, because there are a lot of people that choose to have problems that really doesn't have to be a problem. I want you to think about this right now. What are you actually choosing to have as a problem right now? And maybe there is actually no problem, but you are choosing it to see it as a problem. You choose to have this as a problem. I want to give you an example. As you would know by now, we had our 3 kids back to back, close together. I have not slept through the night once, except for when the kids have not been in the house. But when my kids are around, which is 99.9% of the time, I do not sleep through the night. I just don't. But my husband and I, when we became parents, we decided that we will not make that an issue. We don't complain about our kids' sleep. We don't complain about having our hands full and it being a shit show in our house. I'm not saying that you can't speak about those things. But that's our reality. We're raising 3 little humans that are very close together in age. Like, imagine if I made that a problem. Imagine if I chose to spend my time complaining about that. My life would be miserable, because that's how I spend 99% of my time with my family in my home. Can you see how backwards it is? There's stuff that you can't undo your children. So don't complain about it. I'm sorry, maybe this is really harsh. And I'm not saying that we can't say that things are tough and things are hard. And this is why we have, our partners and our friends, and we can speak about this. But I also know that there are certain things that I actually can't do about my current reality right now. So I'm not going to make it a problem. If I can't toilet train my youngest one tomorrow, I'm not going to make it a problem. If I can't sleep through the night tomorrow, and if I'd rather have cuddles in bed with my babies, I'm not going to make that a problem. So what are you making a problem in your life and in your business right now that either 1, you can't do anything about, or 2, you're just choosing it to view it as a problem, but it could actually, you can shift that within making a decision that you will start to look at that differently. Maybe this is very simple, but we tend to overcomplicate everything that we do. We overcomplicate the way we make progress. We overcomplicate the way we run our businesses, because we are addicted to looking at the darkness. But if you want to find the light, you must look for the light. If you spend the next week, until we're back here for another episode, if you spend the next week looking for the light, no matter what, in every situation, look for the light. And I can guarantee you will come back here for another episode next week in a total different frequency. You choose what you want to hold space for. You choose what you want to give your time and energy to. Choose wisely. I hope you have enjoyed this fiery, very passionate episode. I cannot wait to see you back here for another episode. I am honestly loving this so much. I'm having so much fun just chatting with you guys, and I appreciate your DMs so much. And every single one of you that has taken the time to leave me a review, I just want to give you the biggest shout out and thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means the world for me. I see you. I appreciate you. I acknowledge you. Thank you so much for being here, and I cannot wait to see you back next week for another episode.